Good morning, YouTube family. Good afternoon and good evening, wherever you might be. So glad to have you here today. Oh my gosh, there's just always so much to talk about, isn't there, when it comes to a narcissist? Because they drive you crazy, first of all. And second of all, it just seems like it's never ending, right? Just never ending. What in the world? Well, today we have a topic which I think is kind of, a lot of people think about this. And they ask, will the new supply leave the narcissist? And a lot of times people become obsessed because, especially if you've been discarded or you gave up on the narcissist and you discarded them, and right away, we all know this, they move on immediately onto somebody else. But we have some real life applications going on right now, and I want to talk about that because, sometimes we get disheartened and we think that we're missing out on something because the new supply seems to be happy with the narcissist. And we know our own experience with our narcissist is absolute crazy town. It was horrible, it was a nightmare, and it was devastating. And that's why we couldn't stay. Or if you had gotten discarded in the middle of things where you thought things were good because you had kowtowed to everything, all the demands the narcissist made, but then they discard you anyway. You've given up all your standards, you gotten rid of a lot of friends, and you isolated yourself. You gave up a lot of your own, fun things or hobbies or whatever activities you used to do so that you could accommodate the narcissist. That's all devastating too. And then they discard you, right? So then you look over there right now and you're seeing them surrounded by a fan club or flying monkeys and their new supply. They look like they're doing just great. So you question, was it you? And that's a good thing to do, actually. You do need to question, or are there things that you need to work on? Are there things that you need to change about yourself? Especially if you let down your standards so much that the narcissist essentially had changed you for the worst, of course, right? For the worst as a person. So you do need to change those things and rebuild yourself. And yes, and what you might have accommodated for the narcissist in your relationship, you need to unlearn and learn to be better for yourself and the other person in your next relationship. Anyway, but our focus is not there today. Our focus is on what's going on with the narcissist. How are they still together with the new supply? Why can't the new supply see what the heck's going on? And I think a lot of people are kind of witnessing that right now, where people are deluded and they just will not give up their delusion, right? They will not let go of it, no matter how much evidence is presented, because all the evidence is explained away. And that happens with the new supply. They explain away, either to themselves, right? What they're seeing. What they're seeing, they'll tell themselves is not real. So then they're going to continue to believe this fantasy that they're living in, and they won't let go of it, because letting go of that fantasy will essentially destroy the new supply, right? The new supply has built all of their hopes and dreams, all of their future on this fake fantasy. Well, we're going to jump right into all of that in a few minutes. I just wanted to give you a little prelude, and we're going to talk about why the new supply, what will make the new supply leave the narcissist, and what will make the new supply stay for as long as they do. So we're going to get into that so that you can get your head straight. Sometimes it just helps to talk about this, because when you're seeing people so deluded and surrounding the narcissist, you think you're the one who's going crazy. And guess what? We did. We did go crazy with the narcissist, because we are now unraveling from the fantasy world. We're now actually coming out of the delusion. And when you come out of a delusion, you feel like you're going crazy. People implode, people explode, people, lose sight of who they are and what's going on in their life, because they feel like they're in this whirlwind and they don't know how the heck they got there. So Anyway, we're going to get into all of that. Good morning, you guys. Good morning, John and Jihad. Good to see you. And so glad to see you guys here. Yes, please give my video a thumbs up, comment when the video's over, obviously, but also during the live streams. Good to see you guys here and interacting with me. I'm going to be answering some questions today and hopefully get more into your comments today than I have in the last couple of weeks. Um, and I might even go into some of the questions and comments I've had on my channel in the last couple of weeks. I haven't been able, maybe it's just a week. I haven't been able to get on and answer some of those comments, so I may answer them live today. But how are you guys all doing? I hope everything is going well. Oh, I'm not sure am I going to say your name right, but Eileen or Ellen, good evening from Sweden. Good to see you here. So glad to have you here. I'm going to grab my cup of water. You guys should grab your water, your tea, your coffee, and join me. Ah, so many good things. Oh, that's close enough. Well, I'm so glad that you're here. Happy Crappy Hour is about learning, a learning time, right, for all of us. It's about examining what has happened in the past week that was crappy and what can we learn from it and what should we do differently, right? Or did we handle that situation well? The happy, of course, is what did go well this week, and we want to continue to do those things. So let me share with you some of my happies and crappies, and I would love to hear yours as well. So my happy this week, and usually it really is a happy, is spending time with friends, with quality people who are growing with you and are moving along in life with you. And I'm lucky enough to have that in my life, to have a few women in my life who, are just real high quality women who are solid, and some of them are quite a bit older than I am, which is nice. And I really highly suggest that. That's one of the happies that's been in my life that I think people should benefit from. I think that a lot of times people tend to stick with their own generation because you have a lot in common, right? But you learn so much from hanging out with older people and younger people. And most of my adult life so far, I've really enjoyed, and I remember even when I was a kid, actually, I enjoyed hanging out with older people. I enjoyed listening to them. I enjoyed learning from them. And, but then as I became an adult, I actually enjoyed hanging out with younger people, like with teenagers, because they just have a different exuberance. And not just teenagers. I enjoyed hanging out with younger kids and going and taking them to museums and parks, and just hanging out with my friends' kids and stuff, and my friends. We would have a great time. They bring an energy into the group that's different, right? And then hanging out with older people who are from a different generation. And it's so neat because you learn about a little bit of history, your own history, which I think we are lacking so much of today. And when people lose sight of their I want to say like history, but a lot of times it's just people's experiences that are so different than yours. The culture that was different, a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades ago versus where you are now. Because you may not have existed back then, or if you did, you were a little kid and you didn't notice what was really going on. But now to hear people who lived through that time and were adults during that time and what their experiences are, you learn so much about your own country, your own history, what people were like, what's coming back again. Oh my gosh, like style of houses right now. It's so funny because I think what we're getting into now is almost like from 40 years ago, which is funny to me. But anyway, yeah, so that's my happy, is to being able to hang out with people who are different ages than me, different generations than me, and we have the best time. We went to a restaurant let's see, there were a couple of times I went to two different places, and both times with my friends, people had said, I need friends like that. And, that's why I feel so blessed because we can be real with each other. We really enjoy each other's company. There's no adversarial competition or whatever, there's no jealousy. We just laugh about stuff and we cry about stuff and we grow together. And we learn together. That's the really cool thing. So that's my happy in that. I would continue to do that and I would suggest you guys do that. I've had people come on the channel and ask, that they don't really have people to hang out with or they don't know people. And I'll tell you what, people of different generations, I think as they get older, they tend to get a little more lonely. And it's such a treasure to have them. And younger people forget how much older people, how colorful they really are. It's so funny because they come from a different generation. They have different slang. They have different, it's just really fun to get to hear and learn and listen to their stories. Anyway, that's what I would recommend is, consider opening your life to different generations to explore friendships and relationships with. Then that was my happy. My crappy is I've been working on painting my house, my deck. Oh my gosh, so much painting. And it's great. I love to paint when I'm painting, but I'm fighting the seasons changing. So I'm under the gun a bit, under pressure. I wish I had just all day, every day to just get out and do what I want to paint. But I have a couple hours a day and I have to squeeze it in and I got to get it in before before the seasons change. Anyway, so much craziness. And a few snafus in there. I got a little stressed out, got tired and sore. So that was my crappy. But I guess overall, I feel like even though it's hard, even though it's unpleasant, um, and stressful at times doing the painting because of the time crunch, it's a good thing to keep pushing through because I'm seeing progress. I'm seeing that I'm accomplishing something. I'm seeing that I'm getting closer to my goal. So that's a really good lesson to learn that even though things are unpleasant, it's okay because it's to teach you perseverance. It's to teach you to finish the job, right? And when you push through something that's hard and laborious and even stressful, and you get to the other side, you feel so good about yourself. You feel like you accomplished something and you feel like your self esteem improves. So that is my crappy, which then I'm learning from. And it's a continual thing, by the way, you guys. Growth is a continual thing. Perseverance is a continual thing. And those of you who are here, you know that perseverance is what you need to get through what you just went through with the narcissist, to get to that healing that we're all looking for. Share, good to see you here. Says definitely history repeating itself, both in good and bad ways. Yeah. And they've said, like, if you don't know your history, it will repeat itself, right? And what's kind of weird is, though, people's different perspectives. I think what people forget is that we do need to talk and we need to listen to one another. Um, it's really bad when, and this is what narcissists do. This is why I'm looking at the world today and what's going on out there. And I feel like it's crazy world, not just crazy town, but crazy world. And the reason for it is because people are getting gaslit, people are being lied to, and people are believing the lies. But it doesn't end there. People divide, right? And they assume the other person is the monster. And it turns out the other person's not a monster. And we need to get to that point where we can talk to one another, not talking down to one another, but talking with one another. Now, those who are most deluded, those who are most gaslit, I guess, are the ones who cannot have a conversation, which is sad. And, I wish I could say, yeah, you can have a conversation with everybody. But unless they can sit down and humble out and say, maybe what I believe might not be true. Maybe. If they can't say that to themselves, then it's really hard to have a conversation with them because that there's no room to listen to the other person's side of the story, right? There's no room to learn. And maybe even if you're right, but maybe you have something to learn from the other person, like from their perspective and why they think the way they do. Like you have to come into a conversation like that. And if you don't, then there really is no conversation. Oh my gosh, I just got into, was it? I was watching something recently where someone says, now that's a debate because they actually had a conversation. They had an exchange of ideas and, each presenting their own side. And someone said, no, debates are not a conversation. And I'm thinking, you know what? Well, debates don't always have to be an argument, right? Debates don't always have to be, I'm defending my side while attacking your side. That's not always a debate. Now, a debate should be a sharing of ideas. So, anyway, here we are. We're learning from all of this, we're watching all of this, and we want to be open to conversation. We want to be open to hearing the other side. But here's the deal, they need to also be open to hearing our side, right? They need to also be open to understanding why we feel and think the way we do. And somewhere in there, we're going to come to the truth if we're willing to explore, right? Together. If we're willing to explore together, we will come to the truth. But when this is what the narcissist does in our relationships, and why, the topic today is about, will the new supply leave the narcissist? And the question there, you can see right away, no, they're not, right? For a while anyway, because they're deluded. They are completely lied to. They're being gaslit. They're being surrounded by the narcissist flying monkeys telling them how wonderful the narcissist is, even though they're seeing behind closed doors that the narcissist is a jerk, right? But they want to believe maybe it's just in their head, maybe they're not seeing it right, maybe the narcissist really is a good person because all these other people keep telling me they're a good person. And that's where the new supply is right now. They're living in the delusion, and the delusion is being continually built and fortified around them. Now, the other set of people who are keeping the delusion going is the new supply's own flying monkeys. And what I mean by that is maybe the new supply's own close friends, right? So the new supply's own close friends might be deluded by the narcissist. And because the narcissist is going to turn on the charm in front of the friends. So the friends may not have an idea of what a jerk the narcissist is. They don't see how the narcissist is at home or behind closed doors. So they'll encourage the new supply to stay. Like, oh no, this is the best person who's ever been in your life. You should stay. And they're just giving the new supply the worst advice possible. And part of it could be that they see benefit in having a relationship with the narcissist. The new supply's fan club or best friends or their own flying monkeys, right? Their own families, their own best friends see the benefit of the narcissist, especially if the narcissist is successful and has I don't know, things that they can do for them, right? Favors they can do for them and can introduce them to people. So sadly, the new supply's closest friends are not being very good friends. They're actually total jerks. And a lot of times, sadly, that's a really great target for the narcissist because the narcissist wants to surround themselves with people who are easily manipulated. And if the new supply has friends who are easily manipulated, they will keep the new supply connected and stuck with the narcissist for who knows how long, right? We're not sure. But it depends on the new supply. It depends on whether they come to their senses and wake up from this and go against, and they have to be courageous and strong enough to go against even their, oh, excuse me, I need to get some water here, but they have to be strong enough to go against their own support group, their own Best friends. Oh, I have a story to tell you about that. Sorry, guys. Should have had some water earlier today, but I forgot. So, yeah, so I have a friend who has had other, friends that she had for, I don't know, like 5, 7 years. And they just gave her like pretty much the worst advice ever. I just could not understand how the heck she could stay friends with them. These people were always jealous. I mean, I could see it from afar. Like there were two of them. And it just seemed like they didn't have their life together. They're always jealous. They're an emotional mess. But my friend was close to them because I guess they had a good time when they were together. They'd run around and do things together. And of course, all the Snapchatting and Instagram pictures and just looked like they were having the best time ever. But I could see, like, these two in particular of all her friends were just a total mess. I never felt comfortable around them. I never felt like I could trust them. Like they always look like, the fake smile, and the fake attitudes too when they're around you. But the main thing from those two was the gossiping. And I've talked about this before in other videos. Like when someone's gossiping and that's your relationship with them, or you notice that every time you're together with them, they cannot stop gossiping, right? That's a problem. That is not a quality person. That is a huge red flag. If all they can do is bash other people when they get together with you or laugh at other people when they get together with you, that's not building, by the way. That's tearing down. My friends and I, we do not gossip about other people. Never, ever, ever. We build up. We help other people. Like we put our efforts into actually helping other people instead of talking about other people. I think I have a video where it says like friends don't pity you, right? Friends friends help you. They don't pity you. They don't just sit there and, oh, look at you. I feel so bad for you. And because what they're going to do is they're going to go and take that and talk to about you to other people. Um, yeah. They don't pity you, they care about you. That's what friends do. They care about you. I think that's the saying. Friends don't pity you, they care about you. So they're not going to sit there and go, oh, poor you, woe is you, look at you, you're so, such a bad situation, and then make it dramatize it more, right? They love drama. That is what the new supply has around them if they collect that kind of toxic friends, those are the kinds of people who will keep them stuck with the narcissist. That's horrible to them. And those are also the kinds of friends who will destroy a good relationship, right? Those are also the same kinds of friends who are going to be jealous when the new supply does have a good relationship. They're going to try to destroy it. So, what the heck kind of friends are those, is what I'm asking. You do not want that. Wow. Hey, you guys, glad to see you hopping on. More of you here. Metal Gear, good to see you. Says good morning. Escape and everyone. Well, good morning to you. And Cher, good to see you. Says they are dependent enablers, completely under the Narc spell. Yes, exactly. So the new supplies fan club or best friends or whatever you want to call it, support club, um, if they're toxic people, they're going to be easily manipulated by the narcissist. And now they become sort of part of the narcissist enablers. They become now the narcissist's own flying monkeys to keep the new supply connected, right? I've had this happen where the narcissist, oh my gosh, I have a friend who, this is a long time ago, but she was dating this guy who was, I'm not sure if he was still married. I'm guessing probably. I mean, I didn't know at the time. I was not completely in the know. I was friends with her, but I wasn't sure what their relationship was all about. I thought they were just dating each other and things were going well, and I was good, with that. We'd all gone out a few times together and had a nice time. So I thought, yeah, nice guy, seems okay. But then something blew up. Like she never told me what the heck was going on with them. Something blew up. And years later, I find out that she was unhappy because he was married. Now, I don't know if he was married at the time and going through a divorce or separated, or I don't know. But that's what caused her to break up with him. And what he did was he called me. He called, I'm not even sure if he called others, but I know that he had called me because I was in contact with her. We were actually living together at the time. And so he called me and asked, pleaded with me. Now I didn't know what his background was and why she was mad at him or anything like that. I just knew she decided to break up with him. And he was pleading with me to try to get her to see him. And I had no idea. And here's the other thing. Sometimes the new supply has unwitting enablers for the narcissist. I was an unwitting enabler. I did not know because I didn't know the whole story. So here he is. He seemed nice enough. He seemed to make her happy for a while there. So I wasn't sure what was going on. And the times we went out together, things seemed pretty good, right? And then suddenly she just didn't want to see him anymore. She didn't tell me why. She just said she didn't want to see him anymore. So he calls me all desperate and begging me to talk to her and just get her to talk to me. That's all I want, just try to convince her to talk to me. And I thought, well, what's the harm in that, right? This poor guy, his heart is broken. She's beautiful, she's lovely, she's fun. And I thought, of course his heart is broken, so he just wants to talk to her. And so I did. I talked to her and I was like, just talk to him, just hear him out. And that was, I feel bad because I don't think that that's the one thing that caused her to go back to him, but I was an enabler. I didn't realize what kind of person he was. I didn't know that he had cheated on his wife. Or I don't know, like I said, I don't know if he was already in the process of divorce or separation, but whatever it was big enough that she was so mad at him that I guess he hid from her. He also had a child. So she didn't know that. And here she is. She's single. She's never been married, never had a child. And so she's got this clean slate going into the relationship and he doesn't. And he's hidden this from her. So my guess is he was probably still married, by the way. My guess is he was cheating on her because the child he had doesn't want anything to do with him. Doesn't, is grown up and doesn't want it now and doesn't want anything to do with him. But here's the deal, sadly, and I think that he cheated on his wife because he ended up cheating on my friend. They got married, they had kids, and he ended up having affair after affair after affair on her. And, just totally demolished her. Now, she stayed with him because, maybe because they had kids. I'm not quite sure. Never talked to her about why she stayed with him. I'm still in touch with her. We're not super close. I see her from time to time. Even though she stayed with him, they live in different countries right now, and it seems to, she travels to visit their adult children, and she travels now to and I was really super young, and that's why she didn't share with me. I was like, essentially a kid at the time. We were friends. We were living in the same house. She was living with one of my relatives. But anyway, that's how I knew. And I'm just like, what in the world is going on now? I guess they've gotten to a certain age where she doesn't want to start over, so she stays with him. Now, if that happens, it happens. And from our perspective, if you were the ex-wife, his ex-wife, and you're looking at this, and you're looking at the new supply getting cheated on over and over and over again, just like you were, and you're still seeing like they're still together, how the heck did they still stay together? Well, let me tell you, their relationship is crap. I'm sorry, but it is. It's not what I would want for my relationship, where I'd be happy to be away from my husband months at a time, traveling to other countries to essentially get away from him. Or, and what do you think he's doing while she's away for months on end, right? He's probably continuing affairs that he's still having. So, what kind of a relationship is that? But the ex wife is not going to see that. The ex wife is not going to know that. All she's going to know is they're still together if she dares to look, right? If she dares to put out probes to hear from mutual friends who are still in his life and in her life, possibly. So I wanted to share that story with you because a lot of times what holds us back, what holds many of my viewers back, is the belief that the new supply is living this life that was supposed to be theirs, right? Is living this beautiful fantasy of a life that was supposed to be theirs. And they hate the new supply and they are obsessed with the new supply, who has now been married, right, for a couple of decades to the narcissist. Um, that's not the case. The case is that the narcissist continues to do to the new supply what they had done to the ex. They just do. They just do. They don't change. They don't change their stripes. They don't change their mannerism. They don't change their crookedness. It's just who they are. And when you're looking over there and you're wondering how can that new supply, and you could even know that the narcissist is cheating on them continually, right? And then they have children, possibly outside of that marriage. And you're like, why is the new supply staying? We can't answer that for the new supply. I can't answer that for my friend any more than you can answer it to your narcissist new supply, right? Um, I can only guess. And by knowing her a bit, I could guess that she just doesn't really want to start over. She just wants to continue on with her adult children now, right? And she just wants to continue on with her life, maybe her lifestyle. She's gotten used to it. She's not interested in having a love of her life in her life. She's not interested. She's resigned to the fact that she's not going to have that kind of marriage, and she stays. And you guys, I did another video early on when I started this channel where I talk about the new supply and the narcissist staying to the very end of their lives. And it is no joy. It is no blessing, by the way. It is utter, just horrid. It is just a horrid nightmare throughout their life. And maybe it's just, they're able to delude themselves into thinking this is as good as it gets. This is all, I'm going to make the best of this and just let the narcissist go and live his, her, or her life, right? While I live my life. And they're only attached financially. That's it. They're attached financially. And even financially, it's a nightmare because the narcissist is horrible with money, right? They may make a ton of money, but they'll spend it all. They're going into complete debt. And then the new supply, which is not so new anymore, will still stay because to them, that's still more secure than being completely on their own. And so they'll stay. So when you're looking over there and you're wondering, is that new supply ever going to leave? And it just, in your heart, you just feel like it would give you some closure, some healing to see the narcissist fail in that relationship too. Let me tell you, it's already failing. It is a failure of a relationship. Narcissists do not have successful relationships. They have maybe business contracts, right? Where the new supply stays with them. And that's it. Like, it's just for appearances. Oh my gosh, I can think of a couple of relationships in politics right now where the wife has stayed with I don't want to get into this because people will get all upset. But the reality is, the wife, everybody knows, like the entire world knows that the husband cheated. The entire world knows. But the wife will stay because for her career. right? It looks better for her career to just stay and have that look like, look, I can hold on to a relationship. I can have a long-term relationship. But everybody who's worked with either one of them actually has known that the two of them are a complete disaster. And I don't know that anyone is deluded into thinking, oh, there's something special going on there and that they have a wonderful relationship where they're growing old together. No. And together is not the case. You know, they make an appearance and they act like they're happy together. It's a total act. It is not real. You know it's not real. I know it's not real. And it just benefits them, though, to have an appearance that they're still together. It benefits the narcissist in their business. It benefits the new supply in their business, connections, and whatever appearance they need to have. But it's a total prison, you guys. Do not be jealous looking over there and seeing the new supply with the narcissist, because it is a prison. And not only that, it's a curse. If they stay to the very end of their lives, that means they've given up their entire life. They gave up their whole life for a fake relationship. Why, right? Why would you do that? It could be because they're both narcissists, right? And they get some benefit out of staying together for appearance sake, or maybe financial sake. Or they stay together and because they've resigned to the fact that they just can't do any better than this. This is as good as it gets. And they'll put up with the abuse. They'll put up with the cheating. They'll put up with the lying, the gaslighting, the insanity. And they just cling to the little bit of crumbs that they get from the narcissist from time to time, right? A little bit of attention, a little bit of maybe even a nice day. I don't know that you can spend a whole day with a narcissist and enjoy yourself, but they probably have moments, where it's pleasant, and they just cling to those crumbs that they get from the narcissist. And they build their whole life based on crumbs, you guys. Crumbs. That is not what you want for your life. So anytime you look over there and they're acting like, oh, and now that we have social media, of course, and we've had it for quite some time, but it's just exploding. People will put on multiple social media how happy they are, how it's the best it's ever been. And let me tell you something. The more people have to proclaim that, the less I believe it. That's just the truth of it. The more they're out there telling you what the best everything that they have, the less I believe it. And not to say that they never have a great time or never have a blessing in their life or never have something going well in their life, but it's temporary. It's not a continual and long lasting thing that they can build on, because what they're building on is a lie. The whole relationship is a lie to begin with. So it just doesn't build to something good that fulfills them. It just doesn't. The thing, and I compare to my own relationship with my husband so much, because what I have is what I want for everybody. What I want, because we grow together. I mean, we're still growing together. We've been together for quite some time, but we're still growing together. We are still excited about each other. And I've thought about that. You've seen couples where you see them go to a restaurant, they're not even talking to each other. I'm like, what the heck? They'll even bring, they used to bring a magazine or a newspaper, but you'll see them on their phones, both of them. And it happens at an early stage in relationships now. You don't even have to wait 20, 30 years for it to get to that stage anymore in relationships. You see it right away. You see young couples going out, and both of them are just staring at their phones and laughing at their phones and typing into their phones to different people while they're together. And I'm just like, okay, what the heck? It's sad. It's really sad. When my husband and I go out, we do not look at our phones. I think one time, well, now we kind of have to, because I don't know where you are, but you have to scan the menu barcode or whatever they call that. and not barcode, but you know what I'm talking about, so that the menu comes up on your phone. And that's when we look at our phone to decide what we want to eat. But other than that, we do not scan through emails and texts and Instagram to check and whatever, Twitter. We're not going through all that junk and communicating with somebody across the world instead of each other across the table. You have to do that. You have to be present with whoever you're with, whether it's a friend or it's a lover, whether it's a family member. Be present. That is such a huge blessing. Sadly, narcissists are rarely present because they need continual supply, right? And one person is never enough. They need to be in communication with multiple people at the same time. And they barely give attention to one person for very long. So, you guys, will the new supply leave the narcissist? If they're lucky, right? If they're lucky, they will. But if they're unlucky, they will be stuck with the narcissist. They will resign their life to the misery that they have with the narcissist. And the little bit of crumbs, or the little bit that they're willing to settle for, is once in a while being able to post, look, we went to this place, or we traveled here. And I don't know that they're traveling all that much anymore, actually, now that a lot of things are shut down. And so, but they'll say, oh, so and so remembered this and bought me that, or whatever. And that's all they live for, is those moments where they get to brag about something that's not even real. They know the narcissist doesn't really love them, but once in a while the narcissist will do something nice for them. So they'll brag about it, and getting other people to be jealous of them, or wish that they were them, or had what they had, or have what they have, I guess. That's the only reward they get. That's it. That's what they're getting out of their relationship. They're not getting this intimacy. They're not getting a connection with someone who truly loves them. They're only trying to prop up somebody who's using them to get what they want, because the narcissist can't be alone. So, you guys, it is a very horrible prison to be in a relationship with a narcissist. It just is. John Gary, good to see you. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that means. How to cope with something love. You say panty love? I don't understand that. Maybe it's a typo? Yeah. Cher says it's a lifetime slave. Yep. That's what the new supply is. And, maybe the new supply gets a little bit more benefits than a slave would, but it's hardly worth it, you guys. Not even hardly. It just isn't worth it. I think about people who are willing, oh my gosh, I've watched shows on, what is that called? No, wait. Sugar daddies. Oh my gosh. Sugar mamas and sugar daddies, right? So crazy that people essentially sell themselves into slavery, right? And the disgusting thing is, physical, intimacy slavery. I won't say it because well, they already limit my videos. So it's like you can barely say the real things anymore on videos unless you have sponsors who are willing to sponsor on your video. So if you can watch my videos, that'd be great. If you would watch a commercial once in a while on my video, an ad once in a while on my videos, that thank you for doing that. That helps me so much. If you could recommend my videos to others, or comment and like the videos, that also helps propel these videos forward. So I appreciate it. I get censored so much for saying, I think, not very big, horrible things, but I get censored because I allude to things. Oh my gosh, it's getting out of control, you guys. So my illusion, now I allude even more generically, which is, I hate doing that. I want to be specific. I want to tell you exactly, but I cannot. So, yeah. Let me see here. I'm going to go. Yeah, Cher says, as long as these flying monkeys are getting that occasional pat on the back. They don't mind being their flunkies. Yep. Ellen says, when breaking up with the narc and we had lost our love for each other, is hearing you're the type of girl I'd marry fake future planning? I'm 19, by the way. Yes, breaking up with the narc, we had lost our love for each other. So your ex is telling you you're the type of girl I'd marry? What the heck does that mean, right? Either I want to marry you. That's that's what you should be hearing is I want to marry you, not you're the type of person I want to marry. What the heck does that mean? So I'll tell you what that means actually. It means to the narcissist, physically, you're the kind of person I want to marry. But or it might be the other way, like emotionally, you're the kind of person I want to marry, but I'm not attracted to you physically. Or physically, you're the kind of person I'm attracted to, but emotionally, I. So there's something about you that they're not interested in marrying. So it is a future faking because they won't let you know that. So you base that whole comment, right? You base your relationship on that comment, thinking, I'm the kind of person they want to marry, so they want to marry me. And what the narcissist, they're just playing with you because they know you want to hear that. They think that you'll take this as a big compliment, right? They'll think that then they're not lying to you if they say that, and then you're willing to give up your life to keep chasing them. And that's what they want. They want to keep you hooked. They want to keep you attached to them. So if they feed you a few compliments once in a while, thinking like, oh, there's a possibility that they'll marry me, right? That my narcissist will marry me because they're saying I'm the kind of person they want to marry. No, you gotta, that is playing somebody, by the way. I would never tell someone they're the kind of person I want to marry. I would tell them I want to marry them. I mean, think about it for yourself, right? You look around and you're like, yeah, that's the kind of person I'd want to marry. And then does that mean there are about 15 other people out there that fit that description that you would marry? Probably, right? That's what the narcissist is saying. So be very careful about that. And I'm so sorry if you're going through this. It is a type of future faking. It is not reality. If they cannot say, everything about you, there's so much about you that I'm learning and I don't know that they should say marry so early on in the relationship either. Here's the other thing. They want to get to know you. They're going to need to get to know a serious person. Is going to want to know your family, your friends, how you grew up. They're going to want to know what makes you the person you are. They're going to want to know you in the good and bad times, how you are. They're going to want to spend time with you because they're excited to see you all the time. And they're not going to be putting you off for others, right? Even, if they're madly in love with you, they're going to put you first, really, in all of their relationships. That doesn't mean they're going to disrespect their parents. And you don't want that either. You don't want someone who's disrespectful to their own friends and family for your sake, okay? You want them to check with you first. Like, oh, you know what? My friends want to go and do this, but I want to see, do you want to go do something? Or they'll say, or they'll let you know, oh, my friends want to go and do this, and I just want to let you know that I won't be available that weekend. Is that all right with you? Or do you think, but I want to get together with you right after that, or make plans with you, like real actual plans with you. That would be someone who's interested in you. But if they're talking to you and they're like, you're planning to be together that weekend, and then they say, oh, well, my other friends called and I didn't know they were going to call, so I'm going to have to cancel on you. That is not someone who's interested in you, right? That is not someone who is in love with you. They're just in like with you. In like enough that they, you're the kind of person they can see themselves marrying, but you're not the one that they're going to marry. So I would cut my losses right there. And I'm really sorry if you're going through this and it's really painful, but you said you've fallen out of love with each other. Is that what they said to you? Yeah. Metal Gear get, sorry, I already read that. Yeah, Cher says, if they talk about others to you, they'll definitely talk about you to others. Absolutely. Follow, what's this say? My health journey. Good to see you. My ex has married the new supply, and they have two children. Been together 8 or 9 years, I think. I don't see them ever breaking up. Yeah, it's, you know what? And here's the thing, it just doesn't matter if they break up or not. The sad thing is, it's not a good relationship. If your ex is a narcissist and you know how your ex has been, um, just leave him behind. Just leave him or her behind. Let me see if I know. No, I don't know your sex here. But yeah, keep them in your past and move forward with your own life. And that's what we need to do. I know it's tempting to look back and see and watch and all this, um, but it's just not healthy for you because you're never going to see the ugliness. They're not going to bring the ugliness out to the front for you to see, especially, right? So you're not going to hear it unless they're divorced, right? In the end, you're like, wow, they're divorced, so it must have been bad. But if they stay together, you're not going to know how bad it is. So it's not even worth looking because the only thing you're going to do is torment yourself because the only thing they're going to show is the good times. They're only going to post the pictures of the fun things they're doing or their kids or look at us, we're a family and look at how happy our family is. You're not going to know. You might find out though later on when the kids go off the rails, that, oh, things must not have been so perfect at home when the kids have gone crazy. Yeah, Cher says a lifelong slave. Yep, yep, absolutely. John Gary, good to see you. Oh yeah, said, which I didn't understand. Cher says, I know a narc who has been married twice to women with disabilities. They both left him. Wow. And he still talks about them leaving 5+ years later. Always plays the victim as if he did everything right. Ooh, so weird, isn't it? So weird. Yeah, narcissists cannot see their part in the relationship. They can't see how they messed up the relationship. Rissa Risk, good to see you. Metal Gear says exactly escape. Some victims stay with the narcissist for years, even decades. Most of them stay because they simply don't want to be alone or to start over. Yep. Ellen says, thank you so much. Ah, you're welcome, Ellen. I hope that you see that you're worth it though. There are people out there that you're not meant to be with. And it's actually a blessing when the narcissist leaves. It really is. If the narcissist is not the kind of person who would pour time into you and would want to share life with you, then there are better people out there for you. The narcissist is not a good match for you. No narcissist is ever a good match for you, actually. But if a person who's not a narcissist is not a good match for you, you don't want to sign any contract with them, right? You don't want to get married. You don't want to have children with them. It will then become a prison. And that's the last thing you want. At 19 years old, oh my gosh, you have so many good things ahead for you. So be careful with that. Don't feel so bad about this ex. Don't feel bad about yourself. Just work on yourself. Do things for yourself that make you feel good. Do things for yourself that help you to grow as a person and maybe in your career as well, right? Pour yourself into your life. There's so many good things, you guys, to build on for yourself aside and completely separate from an ex or a narcissist ex or any toxic person that's ever been in your life. Yeah. The good news is that they're out of your life. Really, that is good news. You may not feel it that it's good news right now, but it is because now it frees you. And there's so many people out there that I know who wish they were free, but they're committed, right? They've said their vows and they are committed. They're going to make this work no matter what. and they're willing to take uh, the limited, I don't even want to call it love, but if you will say that, the limited love that a narcissist is able to give. They're willing to take just that for their life. What kind of life is that? I was looking at my husband, and we were talking. Well, we talk every day. We have a really good time. I just love this guy so much. We have bad times too, okay, by the way, which means mainly my fault, I want to say, because I get stressed out about certain things, and then I'm no fun to be around when I'm stressed out. Um, but I've learned to not take that out on him, which is really good. You don't want to do that. When you get stressed out, you need to spend time on your own working it out. But what I'm saying is that my husband and I have so many good things together, so many good times. And he gets stressed out too. It's not like, oh, it's only one sided, by the way. So there are times when I see like he's stressed, I'm going to just give him some space. And we've learned to have this very healthy, loving relationship. Are we perfect? No. Sometimes we snap at each other, and that's okay, you guys. It's not the end of the world. Oh my gosh, I have another story to tell you. I have this friend a long time ago. She was talking about her adult children. And at the time, it was, I was about the same age as her adult children. And she said that she and her husband never fought in front of the kids, like never, which is weird to me, but okay. They never fought in front of the kids. And I know that's, ideally in parenting books and everything, they say don't fight in front of the kids. But maybe not the big, really horrible, nasty fights, maybe. But, definitely have be real in front of your kids. Well, they weren't. So their kids grew up and got married. And their first daughter, who got married, had her first fight with her husband. And she calls her mom, and she's in tears, and she thinks their relationship is over because they had a fight. I'm like, what? That's crazy. But that's not real, okay? The good thing is my husband and I can be real with each other. We do have arguments, not big, giant, crazy ones, but we disagree. We're snippy, but we don't let it get beyond that, which is really awesome. That is a healthy relationship. The healthy relationship is one where you want to be aware of the other person's individual, just their own self, right? They're not a part of you. They're not an extension of you. You can't just treat them whatever way you want to treat them. That's how narcissists or toxic people also treat their partners, as an extension of themselves. You're not an extension of somebody else, and they're not an extension of you. When you can see them as a whole person, individual, completely separate from you, you're going to treat them so much better. You're going to treat them with respect. You're going to have boundaries about, as far, like, how can I speak to you? How can I treat you? You're going to have healthy boundaries. And that leads to a really healthy, trusting relationship. If you can't have that, you can't have a trusting relationship. So, you guys, work on that for yourself, right? Know that you're not going to rely so much on somebody and be so close to somebody that you feel it's okay to be to hurt them. And I know we do. I don't want to get into all of this, but yes, relationships get to that point where it's very hurtful. You can get counseling and you can get help, or you can even counsel each other or get help online even to repair that. What I'm saying is that you learn, though. You keep growing, you keep learning, you keep treating each other better, you keep wanting to be a better person for the other person, both of you. That's a healthy relationship. When it's only one-sided, what the heck? Why would you want that, right? If it's only one-sided and you're the only one who wants to be a better person for your partner, but your partner treats you whatever way they feel like, whenever they feel like, and they don't care to keep growing with you, that's a horrible nightmare. And you don't want to stay in that. Yeah. Joanne says, and good to see you, says, I left mine 4 months ago and he got engaged a month ago. Oh my gosh. LOL. I'm fine. Sent him congratulations. Haha. We were together 9 years. Finally left him because I knew he would never leave. Joanne, wow. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. I think that it is very unhealthy what he has right now. He apparently is either a codependent or I don't know what you call that, but and beyond, obviously, right? If he's a narcissist and is abusive, you do not want to stay in something like that. And they're going to move on immediately right after because they cannot be alone. And the sad thing there, though, is then they entrap another person who thinks, oh, where's this person been my whole life? That's why they talk about rebound relationships, being so bad. You're just, when you're hurt and you have somebody else come into your life just to fill this space, that's not the person you should marry. That is not, because they're not really who you think they are. And I think it goes both ways to your ex and to the person he's marrying, because neither of them is the person they really think the other one is. And it's going to be, woo, pretty scary, pretty scary. And it's like you avoided a train wreck. So I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you. You're going to have a great life. Rissa Riss says the narc married the new supply but cheated twice in 4 months. She took him back and they are working it out. Oh my gosh. Working it out means to a narcissist, getting to the point where you let me back into your life and are comfortable with me and trust me again, and then I've learned to hide it better the next time. That's the working it out with a narcissist. It is never what you think it is. It is not that the narcissist is actually going to change and stop cheating. Like I told you about my friend who ended up marrying that guy, having kids with him, and then he just continues to have affair after affair after affair on her. And I believe he's still doing it because they're hardly ever together throughout the year. So I'm like, if you're hardly ever together through the year, what's he doing? Like, who? He's not just going to work and coming home and sitting by himself, right? He's not just hanging out with the guys, by the way. Yeah, that is what they have. This guy had apologized to her over and over and begged her and pleaded with her and, kept trying to work things out with her, right? And I guess they finally came to the agreement where he's going to do what he's going to do and she's not going to question it. And she's just going to, it's sad. I really don't know. I don't know if they will eventually get divorced. I'm not quite sure there's any benefit to getting divorced when you've come to a business agreement, essentially, with your partner, right? Where you agree to have this piece of paper that says you're married, but you live these separate lives. You have children that you share, but you live these separate lives. And when you do get together, you're just, in front of the kids, you're amicable. You're willing to be polite with each other, to have this image of, hey, we're going to share Christmas together, or we're going to get together for Thanksgiving and make it look good and make it look like we have a family. And it's got to be heart-wrenching. Can you imagine what it might be to be in a relationship like that, where you see other people, other couples, lovey-dovey, holding hands, snuggling, kissing, and then you have a spouse here where your relationship is crap. There is no real intimacy between you two. And all you have is like maybe memories of moments when you were intimate, and that's all you have with that person. That's what the new supply is living with. That's what the new supply has. And the narcissist, they don't care. They never had any intention of being in love, of actually loving, of actually being the kind of partner that the other person needs. They get exactly what they want out of the relationship, which is they do whatever they want whenever they want. Once in a while, with the new supply complaining at them, because the new supply, gets hysterical, gets upset, doesn't want to do this anymore, And then they calm the new supply down and tell them, look, we'll just work this out, okay? Let's work this out. What do you need? You want to go to counseling? Okay, let's go to counseling. You want to go on vacation? Okay, let's go on vacation. You want me to buy you something? Okay, I'll buy you something. And that just placates the new supply for a little bit. And the narcissist thinks, okay, calm the, put out that fire. So now I'll just go back to being the total jerk that I've always been. I keep doing the stuff I keep doing. I just hide it better so that the new supply doesn't catch on. Or the new supply learns to not look anymore, not even question anymore, not even, not even. I've already said look, but they're not even going to question, look, or have it bother them. It's so weird, but it does bother them. They just are resigned to the fact that that's their life. So that's the sad thing. Be careful of that. Don't do that. If the person is not ready to marry you, if the person's telling you you're the kind of person I would marry, it's like, no. It's like, okay, that's just as good as them saying, oh, you look great today. Okay, do not give it more weight than it deserves. It's just simply a compliment, maybe to your character, maybe to your appearance, but that's it. It doesn't actually mean they're going to marry you. In fact, if they're willing to say that to you, that's just kind of weird to me. It just is. Can you imagine saying that to somebody? You're the kind of person I would marry. You're probably just trying to string them along, is what, comes to my mind. So, someone saying that to you, don't give it very much thought. Well, you guys, our hour is up and I have to get back to painting. Oh my goodness. But I'm going to give you a few minutes to wrap up your conversations. I'm going to look up at some of, see, a comment here from Ellen. It says, after the breakup, I asked for one last goodbye to meet his parents and siblings at his house. Oh, they meant very much to me and he knew that. He wrote that his parents just didn't have time for me. Wow. Was this a way for him to tell his story? Ah, I'm so sorry, Ellen, about that. You know, yeah. What This has happened to another friend of mine as well. She was very close to her boyfriend's mom, or they, gotten to know each other. It was at the point where it's like, wow, maybe they may be getting married. And he ended up breaking up with her, which actually was a real blessing because she ended up meeting this really amazing guy who's just perfect for her. It was just the two of them are wonderful together. So thank goodness the first guy broke up with her because she would have been loyal to him, to the end. If he wanted to get married to her, she would have married him. And in the end, he broke up with her. She stayed friends with the mom for a while, and the mom was friends with her for a while. And then they were even talking about getting together for coffee or something. And then the mom contacted her and said, it might not be a good idea that we do this. And I think it's because the mom is incapable of having a real relationship with the girl. It wasn't the girl herself because she is amazing. She's a wonderful person. But this mom, it's a blessing to the girl actually. And I want you to understand this for yourself as well. It's a blessing to you not to have this connection with his family if they are just as immature as he is. If they, the apple does not fall far from the tree. This is what our saying is here in the US, right? Which means they behave a lot like their parents. Their shortcomings are going to be a lot like their parents. Their maturity is going to be a lot like their parents. So it's better for you not to have a connection with them. Now, I have another friend whose son, I don't know what happened there, but her son was engaged to a girl, and my friend was terrific friends with the girl. They got along really well. My friend's just a very loving person. She's awesome. Well, he did something that she didn't go into, but she said he did something really stupid, and they broke off their engagement. Now he's remarried and has 3 kids. And my friend is still friends with his ex fiance. Not only that, but she still invites the ex fiance to family gatherings. Like she recently had an adoption party because they adopted a child. And she invited her son's ex fiance. And I've seen the ex fiance multiple times, when I've been around my friend. So I just think that is a healthy, mature relationship. And my friend has a separate relationship with the her son's ex fiance, who is not no longer an ex fiance. She's actually my friend's friend. You can be friends with people who are of a different generation. And I believe this girl looks up to my friend so much and has gotten a lot of great guidance from my friend, has gotten a lot of love and and support from my friend. Now that's healthy. If his parents were able to do that for you, Ellen, then it would make sense. But if they're not capable, just like my other friend whose mom canceled their coffee date because she just couldn't see how they could possibly be friends, like what kind of a person is that? That would not be a kind of person who would give you good guidance. That's not the kind of person who would be a good influence in your life. So if he is making that up and saying that his mom and his family has no time for you, there's really nothing you can do about that. But if it really is true that his parents feel that they shouldn't continue a relationship with you, then that's their loss. It's really sad for them. Don't take it as an insult to you. I often tell people other people's brokenness is not your brokenness, right? You do not have to take on the identity of their brokenness or the responsibility of their brokenness. Their shortcomings, their brokenness, their immaturity, that is not yours to bear. You are wonderful. Just know that, right? You already on your own are a good person. So just keep working on you to become better and better and become the person that the person, your dream person, would want to marry. That's what I tell people. You are young and you have so much going for you. And I'm excited for you. It is a blessing that it ended, Ellen. It is a blessing. Rissa says, that's like the narc had told me. I am everything he was looking for in a woman. Wow. Yeah, it's so weird that someone would say that. The only kind of person I think could say that is a toxic person who wants to string you along, right? They're not good people to be in a relationship with because how many other people are they thinking that's the kind of person I want to marry? As for me, there's one person I would want to marry, and that's my husband. I can't imagine thinking the kind of person I want to marry. Yeah, no. Yeah. Metal Gear says the only thing is that the narcissist offers to, what do you say? The only thing that the narcissist offers to any supply when it comes to relationship is a world of delusion of a false life in the moment. Yes. Yeah, and it is. It's just a delusion. SR, good to see you, says they tell you they want, okay, I'm sorry. They tell you what they think you want to hear. Yeah. And what not, and not what you don't want to hear, I guess. Yeah, exactly. They're players. There's a reason they call them players, and it's unfortunate that sometimes we get trapped, right? We get caught in their traps. But the good news is if you escape, oh my gosh, and especially if you're as young as you are, Ellen, you have so many good things ahead for you. And count it as a learning thing. That's why we have happy crappy hour, because even the crappy stuff we can learn from. My dad used to say, don't waste an experience, not even the bad ones, because the bad ones you can learn from. And most of the time, those are the ones you learn the most from, right? So this can actually, and not learn as in damage you for the rest of your life, but actually make you stronger, make you wiser, make you more amazing, right? And if you persevere through it, oh my gosh, you feel so good. You feel accomplished. It builds your self esteem. So turn it to that. Use this experience to build your own self esteem, right? To build yourself into a person that you want to be. Yeah. Riss. I'm going to read a couple more comments, but that's it, you guys. We're just about out of time. Riss says, am I a bad person for not wanting to be around the narc's friends? They want me around and get upset that I don't call them anymore. So now they are upset. I am wrong. Am I wrong as it triggers memories in me? No, I don't think you're wrong, Rissa. What you have to consider is you have as much right as they do. Okay? If they're upset at you for not hanging out together, just ask them, just let them know you just need some time to heal. And they should understand that. If seeing them reminds you of him and it hurts, I don't know if you could tell them that, if you feel free enough to tell them that or close enough to tell them that, you can say that. But it's not your responsibility to make them feel good any more than it's their responsibility to make you feel good, right? So whatever you give them, make sure you give to yourself, right? Whatever credit or weight that you give to their feelings and their wants and needs, give the same weight to yourself. Give as much to yourself. You do not owe other people things any more than they owe you things, okay? So if you need time away from them, it is not wrong. It is not bad. It is you taking care of yourself. And blessings to you. I think that you are doing the right thing. Now, maybe you can do a little bit at a time when the time comes and you feel comfortable enough to go visit one or two of them at a time and see if you have a relationship outside of him. If you don't have a relationship really outside of him, then maybe you just need to start over with a new group. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments here. I saw it has a different name. I'm not quite sure how to say your name, but says the narc friends often are not good ones. No, they're not. Riss, I told them and they said I need to get over it because he's married and is not thinking of me. I'm trying, but it's only 1 year and a half. They even introduced me to another man and I turned it down. Ah, okay. Well, I would, you know yourself better than they do. So if you know you're not ready, it is not helpful for them to want you to meet somebody else right away, right? Those rebounds are not the best times or the best types of relationships that should, and a lot of times people get stuck in those rebounds and that just causes more disaster in their life. So you know yourself better, get the healing you need, move on with other friends for a while. Maybe you can come back to these friends at some point, but you might just need to change the scenery for a bit to help yourself heal, to help yourself not look that direction. And it is raw. If it's only been a year and a half, it is so raw. You do not owe them anything. So know that it's okay for you to do for yourself what you need. And if you need to change the scenery, you need to go with other friends for a while, do that. So take care of yourself, you guys. I am so sorry we are out of time. And oh, here we go. Yeah. SR says, so true. People get stuck on the rebound. Yeah, and you do not want that. That's, they're your ex's friends do not sound like they might be very good for you right now. I mean, they might be good people, but they may not remember what I said earlier in the show or in this podcast, or that sometimes the friends that you have are not the best advisors. They look at their own life. If their life is miserable, yeah, don't take advice from them. But even people who seem to have their life together, because, some people are just very lucky and they walk into a really good thing. But it doesn't make them the best at giving advice. So you know what's best for you. Focus on that. Focus on growing. Focus on healing before you go into a relationship. I think that's brilliant that you are doing that. So you're on the right track, Rissa. Well, you guys, many blessings to you. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week. Take care of yourself. Go and enjoy the day. If it's great weather, go outside. Get connected with nature. Get connected with who you are, and focus on the good things in life. Focus on the blessings that you have in life. And let me tell you, you have blessings. So take care, and I will see you next week.